Doreen Granpeesheh is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen. I want to go to a question that Bonnie sent in, and it's in many parts. So I'm going to have you start answering, and then I'm going to scroll to put the pieces together. Okay. Bonnie says, my son is 8, and he's going to an inclusive school with a shadow. And he screams when he does not get his way. He's found a new way to communicate what he needs by yelling, "Help me." What can we do so that he stops this behavior? Thank you. I know that she goes on to say that he is functionally verbal, not conversational yet. And I know that there was another place where she said he squeezes I want to get it right. He also squeezes the shadow's hands and my hands very hard when he is upset and frustrated. So, but yelling, "Help me." I mean, isn't that ingenious? Like, he's learning, but learning how to get him to use that only when appropriate. What do you think, Dr. Granpeesheh?
Yeah, so and this is the kind of stuff that our kids learn, unfortunately, and when they observe, let's say, another child. This is a child in an inclusive school with shadow. He's probably seen a child yelling, "Help me," and everyone dropping everything they're doing and running over there to help the child, right? So I think as difficult as it might be, it happens with kids where they will use expressions, or they will, what's that story you tell children about lying, right? When they're
the boy who cried wolf.
Wolf, right?
Yeah.
So it's similar to that in that sense, but I think what you have to do at this point, Bonnie, is that you just have to treat the screaming and the yelling of "help me." You need to extinguish this right now, as difficult as it is, because it is a very adaptive functional behavior. You do need to extinguish it because he's applying it to situations that are not real. So the entire team who works with him, and the most important here is when our kids go to school, it's so difficult because there's now a whole different environment where you don't necessarily control all the contingencies. So you need to make sure that everyone who is with him at school, the shadow, the teacher, the resource specialist, everybody is in agreement with this, because it's going to take a while unless everyone does the exact same thing, which is when he screams or yells, "Help me," and there's no reason. In other words, he's doing it because, I think she said, he doesn't get his way, right? He does it when he doesn't get his way. That needs to be ignored, and the situation just needs to continue. In other words, let's say he wants access to something and he's not getting his way. Do not give him access to that object, just as if he didn't say it. As if he didn't say it, or as if he's not screaming. Now, it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's called an extinction burst. And that is when our kids do a particular behavior because they're trying to get your attention, for instance, and you don't attend to it. What's happening in their mind is, wait a minute, this behavior used to get attention. It's not. Let me just do it a little bit more extreme. Let me be louder. Let me be more intense. And when you ignore that, eventually it goes away. Now, once it has gone away, and once he realizes the screaming and the yelling, "Help me," it doesn't work, then it's important to teach him to use a similar or even the same phrase when there actually is a need for help. And that would be a scenario where you will actually teach it. So, for instance, you will bring a box. This is how we teach "help me," which is we will start with a container that is very difficult to open, and the child brings you the container and says, "Help me," and you will help them open it. Or they want to reach a place and you teach them how to. So we don't necessarily, we don't start using "help me" as a rescue phrase until much, much, much later. We use "help me" as just an aid phrase. I need help with this object, or I need help to reach something, or I need help to manipulate something in my environment first. And then the child realizes, okay, this is how what help me means. When the child needs attention, we teach them different phrases for that, right? So, and of course, a lot of times, unfortunately, our kids, it's not just that he needs attention, but our kids learn to escape the situation. That's like the biggest function in school. Because in school, if you have a tantrum or something, it is very likely that they're going to take you out of the classroom. And that actually becomes a reward for the child. It's like, yay, all I had to do was scream and they would let me go to the playground. And, that is always the wrong thing to do. I mean, I know it's very, very hard in school because we have other kids there and the classroom and it becomes disruptive. But one of the things that really, really has a negative effect is when a child screams, and then they're taken out of the classroom, because our kids are smart and they learn, hey, every time I want to leave and go outside, I'm just going to scream. So hopefully that helped to answer your question, Bonnie. It starts with literally not allowing him to gain access to the thing that he wants when he screams or yells.
Wonderful. And I gotta say, just an extra thing, just from the parent's perspective, is if you're going to do this kind of intervention, I would say for a hot minute, make your circle a little bit smaller and let everyone in on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you're at the playground and your child is going, help me, and you're ignoring them, you're going to have a host of other problems. And if you have Aunt Betty over for tea and you don't tell her, listen, at a certain point, he's going to start yelling, help me, just to move a teaspoon, and you're not going to respond to that, then Aunt Betty's going to give you a lecture, which is not what you need in the moment. Yeah. So make it smaller for a period of time and let everybody know, even if you have to print up little cards, that if somebody says, why aren't you helping your child? It says, my child, is having a problem right now, yelling, help me, inappropriately. And so we're, with the help of experts, we're doing an intervention so that people will crawl off of your spine. Because people get all judgmental. It's just super, super extra fun. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.